Hello, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Welcome back to another podcast episode here at the Life School. I'm your host, Elona, helping companies align and scale their purpose and profits. And today I want to bring to you a really important topic that I think is really relevant for today's marketplace and where you might be in the journey of scaling your company. Something to consider when it comes to scaling your company is always to begin with the end in mind, meaning building a company beyond yourselves that can be exited from is a really smart way to think about when you are making your daily decisions in your day-to-day operations of your business. Because again, you want to build an asset. And the most important thing I find from the work that I've done in my experience is the thing that we want to consider as entrepreneurs that are scaling companies is to avoid burnout and the stress that comes with pretty much lack of systems and structures within your company, where people are the ones that feel a lot of pressure and are strained to do most of the tasks or the responsibilities as the business grows. And that's where delegation comes in. Understanding how to properly structure out your standard operating procedures or creating playbooks for a lot of the things that are repeating within your company as you're scaling, as your volume increases, so that when you are doing that, you are creating standard operating procedures for your people, but also for your processes. At the end of the day, a company is just a set of systems and people, right? Processes and people, two P's, which are really important when it comes to growing successful company and scaling a successful company beyond its founder. The other thing is the burnout piece. I find that is a really important thing to consider. Most entrepreneurs do sabotage their success of growing their companies because they don't want to do more work and they're burned out. They know that when it comes to scaling, you're going to be dealing with more staff, you're going to be dealing with more clients, more customers, more complexities, more dynamics. So rather than making it simple for them to scale, they sometimes either subconsciously or purposely stay stuck in the thing that they're doing so that they don't have to grow through the growing pains and risking burnout when it comes to scaling. So it's a really slippery slope to consider, but I think just like with everything, the more we are conscious about it and the more we're really choosing the thing that we want to build and the actions to take based on where we want to go, the more we can make the right decision for ourselves and for our teams. So beware of the pit of staying in the comfort zone or scaling beyond a certain point or hitting a ceiling because of the facade that really shows up, especially if you are really tired and burned out and you don't really see another way to be able to scale beyond what you have built. The thing that's constant in business is just like personal life. When we choose to stay the same, we usually go the other way and deteriorate, and we can risk losing a lot of the business that we've already built. So business is just like the game of life. When we don't continuously grow and evolve, there is like somehow, some way, a way to go back and really get worse, pretty much. So it's really the same with business. If you're not careful about the things that might be sabotaging your scaling success, then you will pretty much end up being, swooped by your competition, by the outside forces out there, maybe by even the little decisions that you are making to be able to stay safe in your comfort zone. And that eventually does really hurt the business long term. So stay aware, be aware of these traps. The delegation hierarchy, right? Again, what to delegate and what to keep. The only way you will know this if you do an inventory, an audit of your operations, of your day-to-day tasks that you have to do. What is repeatable, what is delegatable, what is automatable, what is process oriented, what is people oriented, understanding how to do the inventory of this is going to give you a lot of clarity as to what is the right system to implement or the right team member to bring on board with that. So hiring smart, I mean, there's many ways to definitely hire nowadays. You don't have to hire traditional roles where you are paying somebody full-time salary with the benefits and all of that. There's many ways to really curate your compensation structure. Maybe where people get a base pay and then they get a percent of their performance in your company, so that you're motivating people to be part owners of your company. There's many ways to structure the compensation function of the company. So keep that in mind as you are scaling, and have an open mind as to what else can you change that maybe is not traditionally done because of the people you're bringing on board and because of the goal that you have. And then that the setup is a win-win setup for both parties, because there's no such thing as anything being wrong just because people were traditionally paid a certain way for years might not necessarily be the same way to go today. So keep that in mind as you are making that decision. And then of course the last part is build to exit, even though you might not want to exit. To really be really in touch with your numbers, with your sales, with your client base, with a lot of the systems that when we remove you from the company can generate and can produce. Just think about it that way as you are scaling, so that you understand, okay, these are the right decisions to make, and eventually you can remove yourself from the daily operations. The more you can remove yourself from the daily operations, the more valuable your company is as an asset in the marketplace. So keep that in mind as you are making those decisions as well. So I think that's all I have today. I'm gonna wrap up today's episode. I wanna thank you for always supporting the show. Share, subscribe, leave us a review. And if you're looking for support with your operations, definitely reach out, let's have a chat, and we'll be able to talk about the main challenge you're facing and some of the ways to support you to get unstuck and get to scaling. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.